Are you ready for the Low Blows Network? He's the face of Irish wrestling, the hottest free agent on the island, the man of 1,000 fish hooks, your favourite wrestler's least favourite wrestler. Mr. Once a Month, 2 OTT for OTT, the highest paid male terrestrial wrestler in Ireland that's not contracted.
That seems specific, but it's not.
And now, he's the face of the Low Blows Network.
Oh no, he's not.
Oh yes he is, because you're welcome to the Spandex Pantomime with Justy.
Hello and welcome to the Spandex Pantomime with me, your host, Justy, coming to you on the Low Blows Network with such great shows as the Low Blows flagship show, Jerry's Talk Nerdy to Me, the Pouch Pundit. It's the Couch Pundit, but I don't mind. Look, this is going to be. Don't edit anything here, Rick, because today we're shooting. Okay. Also, hashtag Time Machine and whatever. I don't know, whatever's on the fucking network these days. I haven't been on a network in a while, so I don't know. But I'm back. And now a word from our sponsors, Heel Turn Apparel. Buy it. I don't know. Look it up. That's the best ad you're going to get from me, Jamie. That's me doing you a favour. Right. But this is mental. So the podcast I have lined up for you, again, in Spanto fashion, is a real off-the-cuff, fuck it, let's just do one here. So I am now in a car going up the N7, let's just call it another Wrestle Vessel episode. And, look, let's just jump straight into it. Beside me, I have got one of the most notorious wrestlers on the whole of the island, Munster's greatest export when it comes to professional wrestling, and I include that on Manny because, let's face it, he was shite. What did he give us? An Irish whip. It's fake. Ladies and gentlemen, she's got blue hair and loads of fans, the mad woman of Cork. It is Raven Creed. Raven, welcome to the Spanto.
What's crack-a-lackin'? Thank you very much for having me.
So this is weird. Stuff's happened this month that you have decided to send me a message and say, here, do you want to do a podcast?
Yeah.
My response to you was, are you sure?
Yeah. Your response was actually, okay, so let's just get straight into this.
Yeah, let's jump in.
This is, if you've seen the title or anything like that, this is basically Raven Creed telling you why you shouldn't support CCW if it comes back. The only reason I didn't want to do this podcast when I first left CCW was I kind of just wanted it to fuck off and die a death by itself. But now, unfortunately, as you've probably heard and seen and all that stuff, it's back. And if it's not dead, then I'll gladly fucking kill it.
Right. So, for anybody who's out there listening, who doesn't know what's going on right now, in Cork, there is a slight. There's a bit of conflict. Let's not call it a war that's going on because you couldn't describe it that way. But CCW was a sinking ship. I had already decided to jump from that ship before I heard any rumblings that everybody else was kind of going to do this mass exodus and leave CCW. A lot of the Cork crew had enough of the promoter. They didn't want to have to deal with that anymore. I definitely had no intention of going down to Cork anymore, to just not feel happy in professional wrestling. So I'd pulled the pin, and then I heard rumblings thereafter that everybody else was leaving CCW. And from the disaster that was the ruination of CCW came a real success story in Phoenix Wrestling that is just over a year. Phoenix Wrestling is going now, and it really is going strong. Everything good from CCW is basically Phoenix now.
Yeah.
So when you take out all the toxic elements, the bad booking, the bad decisions, the bad blood between the promoter and venues, the promoter and the wrestlers. Basically, when you weed out a bad promoter and his bad decisions, you get a really successful scene down in Cork. And what has happened was, while all this tranquility was happening in Cork and everybody was happy and the scene was really thriving for the first time in a long time, Lee Cahalane reared his head again and decided that he was going to run Cork again.
Yep.
So what happened? How did all this come about, and why is he picking now to try and make a comeback?
Well, I don't know why he's picking now to make a comeback. It's been a long time. I want to touch on first there. You were mentioning Phoenix. I'll get into this a little bit later with a few stories, but Phoenix was not created out of betrayal, it wasn't created out of hatred, it wasn't created because two lads really wanted to have a wrestling promotion. It was created out of pure necessity, because everyone in Cork had enough. Like, I was a CCW Women's Champion, the only one, still fucking am. And, I was actually, the last ever CCW show was Revolution. I was originally supposed to lose that belt, and then I was done with wrestling.
Right.
As soon as I dropped that belt, I was quitting wrestling, and I haven't told a lot of people that, but that was fucking it, because like it was so horrible to be in. Like, it's from an outside fucking perspective, it's kind of easy to like laugh at it, and now like I'm an outside perspective now, so it is easy to laugh at it. But back then, I was so sad constantly with wrestling. Every training session was fucking depressing. Every match, every show was depressing, and you were constantly known as like a CCW wrestler. And I'm sure that you can touch on this a little bit. Maybe not so much with the later days, but with the earlier days, there was kind of a mentality that Cork wrestling and CCW were all kind of arseholes, and we were all like undertrained and just shit wrestlers and stuff like that.
I think it's easy for me to say no, we were cool, but like when I look back at this and I look back at the way Cork was, and I hear I refused to go down to Cork while I was wrestling for OTT. OTT was good enough for me, and I was like, I didn't see the reason for me to go down to Cork. And also when I looked at what was happening down there, who was getting booked, and that's not the Cork people. I was just seeing the from my friends up like in Leinster, they're getting booked down there and they're coming back with stories like this guy's after breaking his jaw and the promoter just left him lying outside. And
there's a good few stories.
Yeah, like
later.
people getting hurt and stuff, and so I had no desire to go down, so I stuck where I was, and I'm sure Lee didn't really mind that I didn't come down. He didn't really come chasing me for the bookings. I'm sure I wasn't on top of the list to come down and get those bookings. And it wasn't until I left OTT that I went back to CCW, and fuck me. Well, I was like, yeah, like all them stories I heard, now they don't sound so far-fetched.
Yeah.
So like I've got my chance to see firsthand on how like 100% bad it's run on show day, like how unprofessional and how like just really shitty Lee Cahalane was as a promoter. And that was just me seeing it on the one day. That's the final hour. Yeah. So like I can only imagine what you were putting up with week in and week out. As you said, like I can almost hear the quiver in your voice when you're talking about it, like, because it must be upsetting to know that the one thing that you love, since like I first met you as a fucking teen, like what were you, 15?
I was 15 when you first met me.
So like I was down there for a seminar, and
taught me how to run the ropes.
Yeah, like that's, yes. Why do you do it so badly? Like that's.
Now I have someone to blame when I say I'm a bad wrestler.
Yeah, just blame it all on me. Sorry, I ruined Cork wrestling with that one seminar. No, like that. It's crazy for me to see someone who, as like, and that's my story as well. As a teenager, I was wrestling. I wanted to be a professional wrestler for as long as I can fucking remember. And when you get those times that you don't want to be a pro wrestler anymore, you kind of like, you realise, like, I've put my entire fucking life into this. Yeah. I haven't really done anything else. Yeah. So all I want to do with my life is be a professional wrestler. Then when someone makes you feel that bad that you don't want to do that anymore, that's got to be a fucking kick in the nuts. Like.
Yeah, like I was at the point that it wasn't even like, oh, I don't really feel like doing this anymore. Like I couldn't do it anymore. for my fucking mental health, for my physical health, there was no fucking way. Like, I was just, like, it wasn't, like, as well at the time, and now I'm in college and I live at home, so I can't necessarily move to Dublin to train.
Yeah.
So that wasn't an option. And, like, so the only option was CCW or fuck off.
Right.
So I was going to take fucking fuck off as soon as I dropped championship, because I'm a proper professional, and I'll fucking,
yeah. Well, you wanted
that out to the end. Like.
Yeah, you wanted to do business, which is, like, you know,
Fair enough, like.
Yeah, which any wrestler would be happy to say that, like, that's the professional way to do things. If you have a belt, you drop the belt before you move on or you do anything else.
And I'm still CCW Women's Champion, and I think it will be forever, so I can never fucking quit wrestling now.
Yeah, but he could he could listen to this and just strip you of your title.
Fuck off.
Yeah. So yeah, like, so you're after saying that, like, basically there was an atmosphere down there that you couldn't remain in, you couldn't be a part, and obviously a lot more people thought the same thing.
Yeah.
So I don't like.
Well, we started off with some stories.
But this is I want to get into this, but I also want to make sure you're cool with knowing that you could get some heat.
Oh yeah, I've thought of that, and I'm completely aware of that. Like, I just want to say, like this isn't me shitting on CCW. It is a bit to a certain extent, but this is more like, I just want to tell people, basically, you don't need to work for really, really bad promotions. I was actually listening to Low Blows, and Katie was touching on this a little bit, saying, like, wrestlers just want to get their reps in, wrestlers just want to train, wrestle everywhere. You don't need to. Like, there's plenty of places, and there's better ways to do it. Like, if you go and train in Fight Factory, you might get a booking. If you go and train at the School of Irish Wrestling, you might get a booking. If you go and train in Phoenix, you'll probably get a booking. Like, you know, it's not just, you don't just have to take what's given to you. You need to have a bit of self-respect. And also to that, I don't want, not just, like, specifically, I don't want women to work for him. And I'll get into that later.
Right.
Sorry for getting a little bit serious.
No, work away.
And as well, I want fans, like, because I saw a few people, like, tweeting about it. Most of it was negative, to be fair, but a few people were like, oh yeah, well, you know, I'll enjoy to see, like, a bit of competition or whatever like that. I just want fans to know what they're supporting, who they're supporting, and, like, you know, what else they could be supporting instead of this. Like, I'm not just saying these things because the owner was a bit of an asshole or the company wasn't exactly 100% professional. I'm saying these things because, like, I don't use it often, but I think the owner was a bad person. Not just a bit of an arsehole, he was a bad person.
Right.
It was miserable, and, like, hopefully listen to the rest of the podcast and you'll be able to understand and get a bunch of examples why.
Yeah. Okay. So, with that being said, let's just jump in here, and like you said, especially women.
Yeah.
So, like, let's, like, before we start on this, like, women have it hard in wrestling. Like, there's certain advantages and disadvantages to being a female wrestler.
Yeah.
Number one, there's not as many of you.
Yeah.
So competition would seem from an outsider to be a little bit easier. But knowing, because we're in the fucking business, we know that you're probably going to have one, if that, female match on a card. So really, competition is really fucking cutthroat. So it's hard enough being a female wrestler without having to put up with, like, the bullshit involved with, like, asshole promoters or whatever way we go down. Like, there's so many, like, even, like, creepy fans, fucking creepy wrestlers, creepy everyone. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
it's wrestling. People are weird.
Yeah, like, it's being a female is pretty hard in this world. Being a female, like, you've picked a fucking world where it's really fucking hard in professional wrestling. So for guys, I would say go out of your way to not be a fucking douchebag and not be a creep.
Yes.
Now, let's jump into why he was a fucking creepy douchebag.
Okay.
Sorry.
Before I get into some more wide variety, I'm going to tell one specific story that happened to me. A couple of years ago, I had just turned 18. So I turned 18 in September, late September, and this happened in early November. So I was just 18. Myself, the owner, I don't know if I can say his name.
I've mentioned that a few times. People are going to put it together.
Yeah, I fucking know. And Marion Armstrong went over to Switzerland for a booking that Lee, oh, fuck it, I don't give a fuck.
Right.
That Lee had said that he had like contacts in, which was basically pay your own way over and you might get a show. But
Right.
that's fucking whatever. So the three of us, myself, Lee, and Marion, went over to Switzerland. Actually, let's start off with a bit of homophobia. Fuck it.
Jesus.
So, one night we were in Switzerland, the three of us, we were watching the OTT Pride show, and I happened to bring up, I can't remember what it was, either I was talking about an ex-girlfriend or a girl I liked or something like that, but either way, that topic was out there, and he said the sentence, and this is ingrained into my memory: I don't have a problem with gay people, they're just disgusting is all.
Right.
So, now that we've started off on a light note, let's get more deeper into the Switzerland story.
Jesus. So, yeah. So, okay.
Yeah, so that's already a sentence. And he said that not just around his friends, he said that around me when he knew I was part of that community. Like, I didn't just, like, come out to him. He knew I was part of that community.
Yeah.
Anyway, more deeper into fucking Switzerland. The night after the show, we went out to a nightclub, where he was, like, I hadn't drank since, like, until I was 18. I was one of those fucking losers. And so, and, like, for the entire time, he was fucking feeding me drink, giving me cans and cans and cans. And I don't like fucking drinking that much. I do now.
Yeah.
So he was, like, feeding me cans. And so when we were in the nightclub, he grabbed my hand and lured me onto the dance floor, as Marion would fucking describe it. But he literally did. And Marion saw this, and he was like, alright, fuck this. This looks dodgy enough. So he followed us out onto the dance floor, thankfully. And I was kind of, like, trying to get away, and it was really, really awkward. And then there was one point where he kissed me. I didn't say that I wanted it or anything like that, and I ended up staring at him, basically being like, what the fuck? Because, again, I just turned 18. He's about 10 years older than me, and he's in a position of power, being the fucking promoter and all that.
Yeah.
This is sort of funny, actually. The next part, as weird as that is, kissed me. I didn't want it. I looked at him. He panicked, and then he kissed Marianne Armstrong. So that was without asking either one of us.
Right.
Have I started off awkward enough?
No, that's. I don't. Like, we could go 10 levels more awkward than that.
Yeah, we can.
I'm fine. Jesus Christ. That's.
Oh, and then just after that as well, he powerbombed me onto the car. He powerbombed me onto a car, yeah.
Right. Well, okay, so that's Switzerland.
Yeah, and it's all fucking downhill from here.
Jeez.
Okay, so that's one story about me. I'll get into another story like that, a little bit worse, later on in the podcast. But
like, just for me there, you've really hit the fucking nail on the head.
Yeah.
Which is, this is a fucking #MeToo moment, right?
Yeah,
like, without
in a way.
a fucking doubt. As you say, he's a person of power. He's your booker.
Yeah.
He knows you since, like, you're a fucking
Since I was
child.
16.
Like, yeah, like, you were
Oh,
a
actually,
kid.
another point fucking about that is that he once said to a friend of mine and his, he once asked him, now it wasn't specifically about me, but, like, fucking, it's a little bit transparent here, where he asked, is it okay to sleep with a girl that's legal now that you knew when she wasn't legal?
Right.
So, like, that's
a specific inquiry.
Yes, yeah, very specific. Like, have you ever asked that question to someone? Probably not.
No.
I don't want to fucking cancel you here, sorry.
No, it's fine. I wouldn't say those things out loud. I just Google it and then delete my fucking history.
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, that he says things out loud.
Yeah.
That, like, because I've heard some stuff from being in, like, from just being in the back on show day, where I'm kind of like, why are you saying this thing out loud?
Yeah.
And it's because he's fucking stupid. And I don't, like, he's
idiot,
so fucking stupid. Like, there's some real decisions that he's made that I'm like, how the fuck are you getting through life? But it's like the thing where it's, if you've enough confidence in yourself, it doesn't matter how fucking stupid you are. And this guy is so confident and so fucking stupid that he'll say, like, here, is it okay if I had fucking some weird thoughts about this person that I saw grow up in front of my eyes?
Yeah, literally.
Oh, come on, you fucking idiot. Anyways, let's
Do you want to move on to a bit more sexism?
Yeah, please.
I literally, by the way, I have notes here. For anyone who's
like,
listening,
you're proper reading this
I'm
off.
I'm a fucking pro, lad.
Like, I'll be honest here. When you got onto me and were like, CCW starting up, Lee wants to get back promoting can we do a podcast? And I was like, are you sure you want to go down that road?
Yeah. You actually said he'd fuck himself without me.
Yeah, I said that. He's going to fuck himself over without you having to do it. So, like, which I don't think is too far off what's going to happen.
No, exactly.
But,
it's already happening, but, like,
yeah.
you might as well put a nail in a coffin. Like.
So, like, I didn't want to go down the road of being the guy that, like, I sent out a tweet that pretty much just said, CCW is pretty unprofessional. And it fucking was. So he responded by putting, I don't know, I didn't listen to it. I will. I'm not going to do I didn't listen to that bullshit. It's just, you know what,
You're not that suicidal.
I just get very tired and I fall asleep. Like, I want to fucking smoke a joint and fall asleep. I don't want to have to fucking listen to that bullshit. So I might, like, now that it's the weekend, I'll give it a listen and I'll have the same laugh as everybody else seems to be having at his expense. Where he called me an unprofessional comedy, a useless unprofessional comedy jobber is what everybody is telling me. So, and
that the only reason you were booked in Phoenix is because that's what you were seeing everywhere else.
Well, yeah, he nailed that, in fairness. He's not wrong. Like, just like...
I don't think you're useless.
Well, look, I won't say useless, but I'm not much use. So I don't, like...
And actually, you know what's really funny? He kind of shot on me a little bit in the opening of the podcast too. Yeah, because I put out a tweet after the OTT Cork show, because I was, like, genuinely really emotional after that. And I said, from Cork going to the laughing stock of Irish wrestling, which it was, to the scene being so good that OTT would want to come down and do such a class show, which it was.
Yeah.
Then, like, that's amazing, and it shows how far we've come. And he said that it was, like, unprofessional of me to say that it was... He didn't mention me, actually, by name. He just said there were some guys and girls on the... like, saying this. And he basically said it was unprofessional of me and that I would have never gotten my start without CCW. And I was actually saying this to you earlier. I was like, thank you so much for letting me pay you money to train under someone who I had been training longer than at the fucking time.
Yeah, like, it's... Like, I get it, like... I do
get it. I understand.
Yeah.
But CCW gave me my start, yes, but it almost gave me my fucking end too.
Yeah.
So I'm not grateful for it. I'm grateful in spite of it.
Yeah, like he has the point that
I started there.
Yeah, you started in
CCW. I actually didn't start in CCW. I trained for a year with a guy called Ross Brown. I hadn't touched CCW for a year, and then I technically didn't get my start there. I got my first match for it, but I didn't get my start there.
Yeah, but, like, regardless, right? Yeah. So, like, shout out to Ross, by the way. What's up, Ross? Very, very, like, you know, he's successful at comedy now, so he doesn't need us to give him a shout out in this Poxy podcast. Anyway,
I don't think he likes me anymore.
Ross doesn't like anyone. Ross, come on to your fucking self. I don't know why I'm shooting on Ross now. Fuck you, Ross.
Shooting everyone, fucking.
But, like, we can't deny that he had the fucking nuts to go out there and start a wrestling promotion.
Oh yeah, and that's fantastic. Yeah, anyone who does that is insane.
And for me to say, like, oh, fucking CCW's bullshit. CCW took me in when OTT didn't want me, which, like, I would always say to the likes of PWU and Fight Factory and CCW that I'm very grateful for the opportunities that I got when I left OTT. But really, for me, he saw me as someone who's gonna, like, bring some attention to CCW. I got down there and I saw how fucking unprofessional that place was, and I was like, you know what, I am going to be unprofessional. Yeah. So I literally went out. I had 2 matches with fucking Vic Viper where I think there was 1 bump between the 2 matches.
Oh, those are my favourite fucking matches.
And he says I'm a useless comedy jobber. I walked through the fucking curtain and he was leading a standing ovation for one of the worst matches I've ever had in my fucking life because I refused to bump. Because the draw was shit, the fucking ring was shit, and the whole setup was fucking bullshit. Yeah. So I was like, I went down there and I had 2 matches with Vic Viper where I had 1 bump between the 2 matches. The rest was us pulling each other's fucking beards. Yeah. I had a great time during those matches. I had a match with fucking Ricky that was the most pantomime match I've ever had in my fucking life.
I fucking love
I love that too, but I wasn't going down with the intent to be, you know what, I'm coming down here and I'm going to really, because I said it to Lee, I'll come down here, I'll say that this is Bush League, all this is bullshit, and each week or each month you give me one of your guys and we put them over me, and then everything I'm saying about Cork wrestling being shit is
proven
stupid.
Wrong.
Yeah. But he went down, was like, yeah, come down, call us all fucking useless, say all my wrestlers are useless,
and then beat all of them.
Yeah, and then I'll have you beat them all. Okay, Lee.
Alright, way to bury your own fucking scene, Lee.
Oh man, I stole so much money going down there. Fucking.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, so that, like, for me, that's my, like, so where I will say, like, yeah, Lee, well done, you had a fucking promotion, but you fucking ran it into the ground, and, you know, you're going to do it again if you try, so, right, let's get back into more sexism.
Yeah, more sexism. I have a few things written down here. I'm going to try not to mention a few people's names. If I do, sorry. So for one person, I'm not going to mention a person's name, but this is a direct quote. For the halftime, sell raffle tickets. Go out there and shake your arse and sell some tickets. Again, not going to say the name, but...
You know what?
You can't... The thing is, like, that sounds like something that you say to your friend as a fucking joke.
Yeah.
If the Phoenix lads said that to me, the owners, I would be so fucking pissed off at them. They wouldn't get the words out of their mouth before I fucking slap them.
Yeah.
That's a horrible thing to say to someone. And the thing is, the person that he said that to, they weren't exactly fucking friendly.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Like, do you know, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
And that person fucking went above and beyond for Lee and CCW.
Oh, yeah.
And
She was constantly fucking disrespected.
I have never seen an interaction between her and the promoter that was a positive one for me to look at. One of the biggest fucking irks I had with CC, one of the fucking things that really fucking jammed up my asshole was we had one show at Christmas time. What was the name of that show, Matt?
Fight Before Christmas?
No, it was the Nutcracker.
The Nutcracker. Yeah, that was it, the Nutcracker. So I get down there, I don't know who I'm wrestling, I'm just advertised as Justy is coming down. I get there and I'm told I'm on after the intermission. Go have a promo, and then you're going to fight Kurt Simmons, Swiss guy. I was like, cool, okay, now I know who I'm wrestling. Oh, but he brought his other Swiss friend down, so you're going to fight him too. And I was like, right, cool. So you're going to go over against Kurt, then you're going to go over against the other guy. I was like, you're going to put me over two guys after I do a cold promo to get myself over in the new venue? And they're like, yeah. Or, yeah, Lee was like, yeah, go for it. I was like, alright. 43 minutes that fucking intermission went on for, until I went fucking apeshit and screamed, where the fuck is Lee? Lee comes in fucking with his eyes bulging out of his head and is like, why haven't you started? Justy's fucking going mad, why haven't you started? And starts screaming at this person who you're after mentioning.
Yeah.
Like, screaming. And I was like, this piece of shit, why? Like, it's his fucking show, it's his responsibility. All this comes down on his neck. He didn't delegate, he didn't tell anyone after 15 minutes fucking start this shit back up. He just went missing for whatever fucking reason for so fucking long. I've heard a lot of reports.
We're not going to get into that.
What?
We'll talk about it afterwards.
Yeah, all I can say is that fucking I was as angry as I ever was at a wrestling show, and I've been pretty fucking angry at wrestling shows. People say I get angry all the time at wrestling shows. I'm a very passionate human being, but
I like that you disguise your anger as passion as well. So do I.
Yeah, but that was crazy. But he came back, and instead of saying, "Yeah, guys, sorry, I fucked up. I was away, fucking doing whatever I was fucking doing," why did he have to scream and shout with this one person whose job it wasn't? It's not their job, it's your fucking job, you fucking ring piece.
It was just completely like taking away blame from himself. Like,
yeah, of course.
Taking away all the responsibility for running a fucking show.
He's fucking delusional.
Fucking is. Another thing. It's about two different people, and I actually don't know if they know this one. You laughed at this when you read it earlier.
Yeah, like I went to do a perusal of your notes, and that's when I said, "Oh shit, spoilers!" So I had to like give the phone away and be like, "I'm not looking at any more of your notes."
Yeah. So he used to bring down LJ Cleary and Valkyrie a lot, like back before like More Than Hype and before like whatever. But the only reason he would ever book LJ is because he wanted to fuck Valkyrie. That's a literal fucking thing. That's not like me making shit up or like, oh maybe. That's what he fucking said.
You were there? You heard him say that?
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't think that's defamation of character.
No, that's not defamation, because that's it. I have several fucking people that have heard him say that probably have texts of him saying that and bragging about that and thinking that that's the funniest fucking thing in the world. And again, like, I don't know how old Valkyrie was at the time, but it's not like she was his fucking age. Like, that's like, even if she was legal, that's fucking creepy. And again, abuse of fucking power.
Well, yeah, exactly. Like what you're saying, like he's the promoter. He's in a fucking base of power. That's a scummy fucking thing to do.
And actually, another fucking topic, just as fucking Valkyrie is here, there was one time that herself and LJ, they weren't getting paid for this. I think that they got their like bus fare paid for like coming down, which is grand for like once, maybe fucking twice. But like they were coming down every fucking show and doing amazing matches every fucking show, and they just weren't getting paid. And one time they were like, "All right, man, can we get paid for the show? Like 20 quid. It's not that big of a deal to fucking ask." And he was basically, no, you're not getting paid. And I think at one point he was like, "You can have a seminar for free." And they were like, "No, we'd rather get paid for the fucking principle of it alone." So eventually he caved and ended up paying them because they were in 2 matches. And I was wrestling Valkyrie at the time, and Lee told me that he wanted me to stiff her. Like, purposely said, "Okay, I want you to go out there and I want you to fucking stiff her for asking for money."
Jesus Christ.
And was like, literally like, "Yeah, she'll fucking do this for me. She fucking will." And I remember this fucking... I obviously didn't, because I'm not a cunt.
Yeah.
But, like...
Gee, this is...
Like, that's... Like, as well, I think I was like 16, 17, and he was telling me to stiff someone. Like, how unprofessional is that?
That's pretty fucking unprofessional, like. Like, this is... I'm not shocked by any of this.
Yeah.
Because, like, I say I have an outward view. Like, it's like I see the scab that is this promoter, but you see under the scab this festering fucking wound.
Yeah.
And this absolute fucking... Like, he is a sore on the Irish wrestling scene.
He fucking is, yeah. And, like, this is why, like, I don't want anyone to work for him. But I especially don't want women to work for him, because he was horrible to men, and obviously, like, you're fucking telling stories there. But especially horrible, creepy, fucking weird as fuck towards women. And I was the only woman trainee at the fucking time. So God fucking... Like, thank God I'm fucking ugly, and he had a weird interest in me.
Right, calm down. Like, let's... Like,
no. Like, you know
do you know
what
how
I mean?
much... Honestly, though, after you saying that, you know how many fucking weird, creepy fans on the internet are like, "Oh, she has low self-esteem. Now's our chance to get her."
Now I can sell my fucking feet pics for more money, so fuck it.
big money feet pics coming in.
Yeah.
If you would like to purchase some of Raven's socks, please contact Espanto immediately. Mm-hmm. Jesus Christ.
But like, yeah.
Lee is ringing in right now as we speak. Pew, pew, pew. Do you know what? I wasn't going to do this podcast. I wasn't going to fucking do this podcast, but you called me a fucking useless comedy jobber. And you might have been right about it, but you shouldn't have said it out loud. You fucking piece of shit.
And,
what else you got?
So I just have 2 more points that I'm just going to say on this.
Right.
This is, by the way, all different people. This is all different women. So far I've gone through 3 different women.
Right.
So I won the CCW Women's Championship. I was the first person to win it. Originally, I wasn't supposed to. The person who was supposed to win it was Lauren LaRue, who at the time we were kind of like in the same faction.
Yeah.
The only reason he wanted Lauren LaRue to win it, take a wild fucking guess why.
Because he wanted to maybe have some coitus with...
Yeah,
okay,
and that's what he said. He wanted to give Lauren the championship because he thought he could fuck her.
Jesus
like, that's it. And eventually he actually did get talked out of it. Ironically, by the people who now book Phoenix. So,
some kind of voices of reason.
I know, fuck, right? Yeah. It's almost like it's a good booking idea, shit.
Sorry, Lauren, that you had to fucking hear that.
Yeah. No, I don't mean that as any fucking disrespect.
No, like, the fucking Lauren is an absolute fucking gem.
Yeah.
A pleasure. And that's just shitty to be fucking, to pour her down to, I'm going to give her a belt so that I might be able
Yeah, exactly. And that's like... Again, that's not nothing against her. That's obviously everything fucking against him. That's the way that he would think. And again, that's another thing of abusing power. Thinking, okay, if I give her a strap, then she'll have to sleep with me. Like, that's the mindset that he fucking had.
Right.
I know that, like, some of these stories, they're going over fucking quick. That's just like a fuckload. But, like, I just, like, every single thing here, this is a person in power trying to take advantage of someone who's working for them.
He's fucking Weinsteining these people.
Yeah, like, that's actually a great way of putting it, in all honesty.
That's it. Like, you're a person in fucking power with something swinging between your legs that you're like, when I do something for you, you're going to get this fucking dick. That's what it is.
I like how you tried to censor yourself for like 2
but
seconds.
I'm not going to fucking do that. You know what? That's real fucking scummy.
Yeah.
Do you know what? And I see it as well. No, we actually had this discussion the other day where we were kind of around in a circle and we were all talking about how like, we're all really fucking shy. We're all really fucking like weird fucking
Yeah,
humans
we're all awkward fucks.
who like can get out in front of fucking hundreds or maybe thousands of people and like jump around in spandex and look like fucking idiots. But really, like these interactions, like on a person-to-person basis, really fucking is weird for us and is fucked up. And we said it like in the wrestling community. I think it was Jay Money that said it. You don't become a wrestler because you're normal.
Yeah.
Like we've all got these kind of insecurities, and it is a business as well, especially for the females, where a lot is on look, a lot is on sexuality. There's so much focus on that kind of stuff that it really does play into your mind and your fucking how you feel about yourself, and to be then used by someone of power like that to get his own end away, and you're trying to progress up a fucking ladder in professional wrestling, you feel sometimes you could feel obliged to have to do certain things that you wouldn't want to do, and that's really fucking nasty for someone in power. And you see it in wrestling all the time. I see it with my girlfriend, I see it with the female trainees, I see it with the lads as well. Like there's so much insecurity and so much kind of low self-esteem involved in the professional wrestling world.
You can take advantage of people.
Really, and I'm not saying fucking wrestlers are gullible or stupid or anything like that, but there has been a fucking kind of culture created in professional wrestling that you have to do certain things to get up the fucking ladder.
The whole paying your dues thing, and some people take that too far in a wrong direction.
Yeah, there's scumbags out there that are going to fucking take advantage of people.
Yeah.
Fuck, man.
Yeah.
Like this could have been such a fun podcast that we got to do together, but instead we're focusing on some fucking scumbag.
I have a funny story.
Yes! Yeah, really quick.
And it's actually still in sexism. Fuck me, the organisation of my fucking notes. It's insane, man.
Do you know what it is? You've booked a better card with your stories than Lee Callahan ever could on a fucking wrestling show.
It builds fucking crescendo at the end, main event, fucking love it. Send everyone home happy, great stuff.
And nobody felt pressure to fuck anybody else. So like, everybody's pretty happy here.
Alright, so this one, it's kind of like one of the stories I've said, but it kind of ends in a bit of a funny way because he got a bit of a comeuppance off of it.
Right.
I don't know what this girl's name was. I don't think she's booking anymore, or she's wrestling anymore, excuse me. But he booked her on one show, and he said when he was like watching the match in the Kino, and like there's a part in the dressing room where you can kind of look out and see the ring. And it's like a really small box, only one person can kind of be there. Right. And he was watching the match, and someone asked him, "Oh, how's the match going?" And he went, "Oh, it's really shit, but sure, I only booked her because she has massive tits."
Right, yeah.
So he said that, but the funny part was, the girl with massive tits, excuse me, sorry, I sound really derogatory saying that, but that girl, she...
Oh, there's a car alarm going off right beside us. That's pretty...
Fuck me, he's hiding on us.
Do you reckon that's him?
Anyway, that girl was recording her match in the one box where you could watch.
Oh, no.
So she had a camera placed there, and you could actually hear on the camera exactly what he said. "Oh yeah, but I only booked her because she has massive tits." And it's not like he could delete the video, because then she'd know what happened.
Yeah.
So he actually had to go up to her and tell her, "Oh, sorry, I said this. It's on your video."
Oh, jeez.
Which is horrible,
Christ.
obviously, for a fucking girl to hear. Like, it's kind of funny that happened to him and he had to go through that much of an awkward fucking situation. But imagine someone going up to you and being like, "Oh, sorry, I said this thing." Like, imagine, okay, if I got booked somewhere and a promoter coming up to me and literally saying, "Oh, I only booked you because of your arse."
Yeah, yeah.
Like, fucking hell.
I think,
like, what you said about the self-esteem thing, that's fucking gone.
Yeah, that's, like, that kind of shit. I only get, it's kind of a double-edged sword for me, because I get promoters coming up and saying, "I'm not booking you because your tits are massive." So, yeah.
Oh god, I wish I had that fucking problem.
You can have mine. You can have mine, Raven. Anytime you want. You get the fucking surgeon and we'll hook it up. So yeah, we've got... So like that's... Like, have you even scratched the surface of your notes?
No,
here on the...
fucking I haven't, to be honest.
You haven't? There's actually... You've got, like, bullet points. I'm just looking. There's one that just says miscellaneous.
I'm an organised motherfucker.
I shouldn't laugh, because all of these things, I know these bullet points are fucking horrible shit. But looking down, like, you've got it in subsections.
Yeah.
There's paragraphs here.
I'm organised as fuck.
Wow, I did not expect that from you. I was expecting you to come up with like this shit scratched into your arm. But
like what, with like a knife or
I
something?
don't know, like fucking, you know, like cave drawings on an arm. You've got to, like, it's a pretty good gimmick. Like, I believe it. You know.
Thanks.
It's,
Am I ruining my gimmick with this podcast, by the way?
People buy into shit. You'll fucking, after this, we'll just give them the old Men in Black. Back to
It
fucking.
didn't happen, lads.
Yeah, back to
The
Raven.
only thing you remember is don't support CCW. So I want to actually get into the part now, since we're done with a bit of sexism. And like that's the part that those stories are the parts that I'm 100% sure happened. I've seen it or I heard it directly.
Right.
There's so many other things that I heard happen from several people that I'm not going to mention because I want to make sure that all the stories I'm telling are 100% factual. There's no ifs, ands or buts. There's not a single 1% that didn't happen.
Yeah. So like there's fucking dozens more stories that
without a doubt.
They're hearsay. So
yeah, and there's some
like,
stories as well that aren't mine to fucking tell.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to touch it.
Cool. What else you got?
So I actually.
That being said,
let's talk shit. So I'm going to get into a bit that a lot of people from outside of the old CCW won't know. So our training facility.
Yeah.
So anyone who actually wrestled for CCW will say that it was probably the worst ring that they've ever wrestled in.
A horrible fucking ring.
That's because in a normal ring, you'd have like wooden boards, a bit of padding so you don't fucking kill yourself every single time you take a bump. And then the mat that goes over the canvas.
Yeah.
In the CCW ring, we had broken boards because they were too expensive to replace, even though they're like 40 quid a board, something like that.
Oh, like
40 quid. I got
40
a thumbs
quid
up.
is 40 quid is if you're going down the route of getting some fucking, like you could get a 3/4 inch WBP plywood for €18.
Oh, I forgot you were a manly man.
Yeah.
Shit.
Look, I don't want to. Don't count me on that for pricing, but yeah, if you want to get marine ply, spend the big money on it. But like,
But you can get more boards anyway.
Of course, you can get fucking boards for like less than 20 quid. You can get boards for that.
We had broken boards that you would fucking fall through the ring basically, and instead of having padding, we had floor underlay, which is what you put on the carpets to make sure it doesn't move basically.
Yeah.
So it was about like half an inch thick.
Jesus.
When normal pads should be like
I say that like
2.5, 3.
I was doing Jesus. I said that like that's why I went down and was like, I'm not bumping on this fucking ring. I went down and had matches where I was like, no way am I bumping on this piece
like
of
in all honesty, a few people know this, not too many. I had a really, really bad back injury near the end of CCW. I was watching back my my first ever Defiant match, and this was when I was training all the time in CCW. I was training every single day, and I was doing all the things, and I had a good few bookings.
Yeah.
And and this was in the middle of my fucking really, really bad back. Thankfully, it's fucking fine now. I just did my own stuff to get help with that. But I took a bump, and I was like doing a bump and feed. Took a clothesline, tried to get up, and it took about 15 seconds for me to stand up. Like that's how bad my back was.
Geez,
and I do put it down to that ring. Because there were so many other people doing the same stuff that I did, and they were absolutely fine. And I'm tough enough, like, you know, like. But yeah, I'm not someone who complains if I get a small cut on my finger or anything like that. Like like that was fucked. And another story, just because of that ring, I do put it down to that. I went for a walk once with my boyfriend Matt Schuyler. We went for an hour-long walk, and he had to fucking drag me home because I couldn't walk anymore. I walked for an hour and threw up with pain.
Fuck.
Like that's fucking true, and it's not like we were going for a run or high intensity cardio or anything like that. Like we were literally strolling, and he had to like my arm around him, dragging me the fuck home, and I threw up with pain because of that ring. Because I was so fucked from that ring. Because I was the person who was training all the time and had to be there all the fucking time.
I 100% will back up that ring was an absolute arsehole to bump in, and that's why I didn't. So. Yeah, that's like I was pretty fucked. And another thing about that training school, though, it was the cheapest fucking dirt training school. It was so fucking disgusting and grummy. The people that we were sharing with were constantly stealing stuff. Like Matt Schuyler got like a pair of his fucking trunks stolen once. Trunks?
That's true. I left my gear on the ring, so I was going on a night out with my friends. I was going to collect it the next morning. Went back and my bag was robbed.
Like, who steals gear?
My wrestling, my flight mode tights were in that bag.
Yeah. And like, who the fuck steals gear? What freak steals gear? But like, so the people that we were sharing places with were fucking like, and it's not like you could actually lock up the building either. I used to open it with a fucking penknife. because
Jesus Christ.
you know he just didn't give us a fucking key, so I just learned how to pick a lock, which was literally like I moved the lock slightly and it fucking opened.
That's the most on-brand Raven Creed shit I've ever heard. So I just went out, used my flick knife to open up the gym, and then I taught those jobbers how to bump.
Okay, maybe I'm not ruining my gimmick with this podcast.
Jesus Christ.
But as well, in our training school, we had literal rats. Like those big
literal
rats.
ones, as
like,
opposed to what, Raven?
let's not get into that. I don't want to get fucking cancelled. Fucking hell.
Damn it! I thought I
Don't
laid the
bait
traps
me.
up perfectly.
But like big feckin' rats, like the size of fucking chihuahuas in that fucking gym, like all the fucking time. Like we couldn't, like so like there was rats there pissing on like steel chairs and like any other things that we put under the ring.
Oh, for
like
fuck's sake.
and like as well because in CCW they were so obsessed with hardcore and fucking death matches and shit like that.
Yeah.
They would do shows in where we had our gym. And when we would go back training, first of all, there'd be beer all over the fucking ring because there was no fucking control and people would just drink cans in the fucking ring.
Yeah.
And there would also be glass and thumbtacks on the floor outside it because it was never cleaned, and he never hired anyone to clean up that, which he should have, or he never asked any of the trainees to do it after the show. Which again, he shouldn't have to ask people to clean up fucking broken glass with their hands, which he asked me to do before.
Well, like,
so
at
that
any
means
show that I would have seen him at, but
No, you're right.
he, by intermission, is either
Fucked.
he's either fucking too drunk or he's non-existent. He's gone. Like.
Yeah.
He'll be backstage asking people to rate his super kicks while he's super kicking chairs and fucking like he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah.
Like so like none of this stuff would have came into his head to like let's delegate, you guys are going to clean up after the show or whatever it is, like. But even at like what you're saying is he shouldn't have to ask people to clean up. His shows were fucking mental though. Like,
they were stupid. Actually, you know what? This is actually something that a topic that I wanted to say really briefly. You remember a few weeks ago when everyone got pissed off with the Curtis Murray thing up in Respect when he did the exposed chair shot to the head?
Yeah.
That always happened in CCW.
Oh yeah.
That always happened. And there was one time specifically, Lee was actually in a match, the fucking booker, and he had a really hard baking tray. So it wasn't a steel chair, but it was a really fucking hard plastic as fuck baking tray.
Right.
And he smashed it over, who's he wrestling? One of the Woods brothers.
Lorcan Wood.
He was wrestling Lorcan Wood. And so he smashed it over Lorcan's Wood head. Unprotected, like without hands or anything. It didn't break. He smashed it again. Didn't break. He smashed it a third time. It broke. But because it's plastic, it broke off into spikes and cut his fucking head open. To the point where like his face was covered in blood. Like I'm talking fucking like Stone Cold Steve Austin and a fucking sharpshooter, that fucking much covered in blood. Like,
well, I'm sure Lee would have got a fucking boner seeing that.
He fucking did. He loved that. He
It's-
did.
yeah.
Like the thing is that he didn't do it once and think, okay, I did the spot. That's good enough. He did it 3 times to break it to get the blood, even though they never fucking discussed that. And as well, another fucking topic about that, just to say that he's a fucking idiot. He didn't do it in the ring. He did it at the fucking entrance ramp where no one fucking saw him, where everyone else was fucking brawling during the time. So he didn't even fucking do a shit spot in the ring so people could see it. That's just me shitting on him because he was a bad wrestler, not a bad promoter. I'm sorry.
Nah, he's like you can shoot it on both ways because the only booking he ever got was a booking he'd give himself.
Yeah, that was
like no one else on his fucking island is going to book that. Like
No.
no way. And his booking was so fucking Russo-esque that a bit of blood would give him the fucking biggest horn.
Oh.
Like
He thought he was so fucking hardcore because he made someone else bleed without fucking asking their permission. Like, he thought that was the coolest shit in the fucking world.
the last the last show I was up there, I was really pissed off and I was done and I was getting physically upset and people could see that I wasn't having fun. And Lee was kind of, at one stage I was shouting about his bad booking. It was your match. It was like not too good because I said it to the Duchess in a message. Oh, it's the Empress now, isn't it?
Shit.
In a message that I was gonna get that Raven was going to be on the podcast and she was going to talk shit. I was like, she's probably going to talk a lot of shit about Lee. And she was like, if you need me to do a similar podcast, I would do it. And she fucking hates podcasts. If I wanted to do a fucking Debbie Keitel appreciation podcast, she'd be like, yeah, do it without me though. Like, but she was like, oh, you're gonna shoot on Lee? Like, I'll gladly jump in there.
Yeah.
Because she has her own whole history. Like, even without me getting into it, he almost made her quit wrestling as well. She was so close to just throwing her hands up in the air and just being like, that's it with me in wrestling. It's so not fun anymore. So at that stage, I was really fucking angry. I wasn't having fun for myself, but I was happy to go down because I was really stealing money down there. But seeing the treatment that she got off Lee down there, whereas like you get told you're coming down for one thing and then you're getting a completely different fucking thing when you go down there. It was deceitful fucking ways of getting people to work for you. And he was just so fucking, it was like, it's so delusional to it all happening, like. And I was going off backstage about something, and I could see Lee looking over at me, and I was so fucking angry because I said it to the Duchess. I said, I'm going to go over there and I'm going to fucking say it to him now. And she was like, no, please leave it. And I didn't want to be like that boyfriend because, like, let's face it, she's way more successful than me. So it was, I didn't want to be the guy who's like, I'm going to fucking march over there and I'm going to fucking tell that guy. So, like, I was angry, but she was like, leave it, don't fucking do anything on my behalf. I was like, right, fair enough, but we're not coming down here anymore. She said, yeah, definitely. And at one stage, like,
was that the last CCW?
Yeah, was it, he had a match with Lycan, a death match, and he was standing with his hand on his hip, and he had his vest rolled up over his stomach, and he he was kind of huffing and puffing out with breath, and he just shouts over at me, Justy! I said, what? And he goes, just like Ric Flair, haven't I? And I looked at him up and down, and looked at his stupid face, and his stupid belly hanging over his stupid fucking tights. And I said, I bet Ric Flair never booked himself in a fucking death match when he looked like a fucking fat piece of shit. And he goes, he was like, what? And I said, nothing. And, but the worst about it was, that was coming from me. You know what I mean? I'm not Lex Luger here. I'm not even some of the package. I'm like the bits you leave out of the package. You know what I mean? But I had to look at that guy who was the worst wrestler, the worst booker, and one of the worst fucking humans I've met in fucking real fucking life.
Yeah, I agree
and
with that.
I remember just thinking, well, that's it. That's the end. I don't want, like, I can't deal with this anymore. I'm not coming down here anymore. And it was after that I heard that everybody else had the same fucking feelings. Like, it's crazy. Like, oh, fuck. What else you got for me? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I love it. One more thing just about the training school for, like, everyone. I'm just going to do a tiny bit of maths for you.
Right.
So everyone paid €100 a month for training.
Right.
And the rent. Justy's using his hands.
Yeah, I just go through the weeks and it's 25 a week, right? Yeah, okay.
And the rent for the building was $300 a month because, again, it was a fucking shithole with rats and all that stuff.
Yeah.
At one time, there was 20 people paying the €100 a month.
Oh, fuck.
And he never once put any of that €1,700 profit into getting a better ring, getting a better facility, cleaning up the facility, making sure that we don't fucking get diseases from rats and shit running around. There was never one time did he ever fucking did that. Ever. And as well, just the fucking add on top of that, he would text me about 2 minutes before training, because there was one time where we just, like, the trainer just stopped training us. He would text me about 2 minutes before training saying, can you take training tonight? Fuck. And, like I take some training sessions in Phoenix, but they give me, like, a 2 days notice, and I make a fucking full plan, and I stay in my fucking lane, and I do all that stuff.
Looking at the organisation you put into this, I imagine with a little bit of time that
exactly.
it would be a good training
session. Class, like. Yeah. But if I'm given 2 minutes, then, like, alright lads, let's do some fucking suplexes. I don't fucking know.
Yeah, like you have to just pull it.
So he would do that, and he would do that every single session for so long. He'd be like, can you take this session? Can you take this session? And I was still paying €100 a month.
So basically you're head trainer and you're paying to do it?
Yeah. I was paying to train people.
Fucking... That's... Yeah, look...
When at the time, I don't think I should have been training people at all, like, you know. Like,
Well,
now I kind of know stuff. I'm in college as well for recreation ledger management, so I know how to exercise and all that stuff.
Yeah, like...
So I'm educated now, and I've wrestled a lot more places, and I've done a lot more seminars outside.
Yeah, you've been, like, this last couple of years for you has been fucking, like, especially this last year anyways, has been fucking insane. You've even gone to the WWE UK PC.
Exactly, yeah. I've had a tryout, so now I kind of, like, I think, okay, I can kind of show people how to do a couple of fucking things.
Yeah, like, fucking... That's got to give you enough confidence to at least say, like, oh, I'll try this out. But
yeah, totally.
someone who is, like, a trainee being told, like, on the day, like, oh, will you train?
No, it was literally, I remember before, what, class started at like 7 o'clock. It was 7:05, and he texted me saying, can you take class tonight?
Jesus, like, it's...
Fuck me, like...
like, none, like, this can't be surprising. None of this is surprising.
No.
It's, yeah. Right, where, like... Oh, let me check this. Oh, man, we're nearly an hour in.
Shit.
Like, nothing positive has come. Like, really, I haven't had that. Like, I would love if my my Raven Creed podcast was, Raven, you've had a fucking amazing year. It's been so good for you. Let's talk about fucking stuff that is really good about wrestling.
No, we're just talking about all the sad shit and why I'm bitter.
Yeah, but you know what? Like, it's not as if anybody could be listening to this and be like, oh, do you know what? Like, she's just whinging. Like, this all seems like really concrete stuff to kind of avoid CCW like it's a fucking plague.
So I have two more things to talk about. One is...
I just want to get two more things.
No, like, and the thing is, if I get two more things in, I haven't scratched the surface on my fucking list. I'm gonna fucking screenshot this list and sell it.
Like,
that's my fucking new merch.
Genuinely, I just flicked down to that list and I was like, holy shit, this is, like, yeah. That's a wormhole.
Staunch list, like.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched the miscellaneous, like.
Right, what have we got?
So I'm gonna talk about something that everyone wants to hear about, and then I'm gonna talk about something fucking sad.
I know what everyone wants to talk about.
What everyone wants to talk about, everyone loves about fucking CCW. The only thing in the world that matters, the CCW press conference.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give a little bit of fucking insight to this and background to this and shit like that.
The press conference, as much as everybody kind of pokes fun at and because it is fucking,
looking back at it now, it's fucking hilarious.
Oh man,
like, it's so bad.
I hate cringe. Like, that's worse than gore for me. Like, slit someone open in front of me before I have to see an awkward interaction. You know.
Actually, you know what? The first time I ever listened to Low Blows was directly after the press conference because I heard that they were talking about it, and I listened to it and I was just laughing my fucking hole off the entire time. It was so funny the way that, like, hearing other people say what we were all fucking thinking.
Yeah. Because it really did kind of encapsulate everything about CCW, which was this weird delusion of where some American TV fucking, like,
it was the most American thing ever because he liked New Japan, so he was like, alright, I'm going to do a fucking press conference.
Yeah.
That no one showed up to. By the way, there was like, I can count it, there was 6 people in the crowd. I think 3 or 4 of which were trainees. No, 3 of which were trainees, 2 of which were fans, and 1 person that Lee invited.
Right.
So already that's sad as fuck. And if you watch the press conference, there's about double people on the actual panel, we'll fucking call it, than there is in the fucking crowd.
Yeah.
Which is so fucking funny. And one thing that I will always be bitter about over this is that was, I think it was like 6 days or like less than a week before Revolution, which was the last CCW show.
Yeah.
And I had been pitching this idea for fucking ages. Me and Debbie were gonna finish the feud with a fucking last woman standing match.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first last woman standing match in Cork, definitely. I don't know in Ireland.
No, I'd imagine it was Ireland, yeah.
Yeah, and like, I always wanted to do a last woman standing match. And we were gonna have a class match. And we actually fucking did. I'm proud of that match. And I wanted to do a promo like a few weeks before it. Because like that got voted, myself and Debbie that time got voted like feud of the year.
Yeah, like you guys fucking wrestled every month for like 11 months in some fucking mad matches. Like.
Yeah, but like, so that was probably going to get a little bit of eyes that it wasn't just a match, that it was a last woman fucking standing match.
Yeah.
That's class.
You guys were probably the biggest draw for CCW when it came to, when people said like, what are you looking forward to?
Yeah.
No one was saying like, I want to see Lee Callahan in a fucking death match.
Yeah, it was myself and the Armstrongs at the fucking time.
Yeah, definitely.
Because they
and
were...
maybe Justy, whatever. Like it's fine. You don't have to, you don't have to mention me. Whatever, it's fine.
For the local lads, myself,
yeah.
Armstrongs, at Flight Mode were fucking making a little bit of noise while they were about to break out.
Yeah,
but
of course. Yeah.
For the most part, it was myself, all of Therapy and the Armstrongs.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I had to do a promo to set up a really intense, like, end of a fucking feud.
Yeah.
With Debbie for a last woman standing match, a historical match in front of 6 people, and the promo only came out 5 days before the event. Now, I'm not a fucking booker, I'm not a fucking professional advertiser or anything like that. I've studied it a fucking little. I don't know a lot about it. But if you're going to have a big match, a big feud ender, should you promote it a little bit more than a couple of days before the event?
Yeah. Of course, 100%. But like, look who we're talking about here.
Yeah, exactly. So
he has a poster out for this fucking this show that he wanted to do in the fucking Kino in 2019, and the poster is like an old CCW poster with that old meme writing that you don't see anywhere else except
Comic
for on.
Sans?
Yeah, it's like fucking.
Are you fucking?
Yeah, you know the one.
Fuck
like,
the entire podcast. That's the reason you shouldn't fucking support CCW. Like.
It was like, like the remember the 1st of November.
Oh,
that's all he has
that
written out.
cringy shit.
And he
First of all, it's remember the 5th of November.
Yeah, but like his show is going to be on the 1st.
I don't give a
November.
fuck.
Yeah, I don't.
It's wrong.
I don't think he was promoting fucking Guy Fawkes. Like, I think he was promoting his own show. But like,
it's so stupid. I don't like it.
Yeah, I seen it out there, and to be honest, like I was going to leave all this down to me just putting out that one tweet. That was like, I didn't even, do you know what, I put it out fairly early in the morning, I have a new job, so I was like, I'm going to put this out there.
Like.
Yeah, and it was like a little kind of tongue-in-cheek, kind of, don't work for CCW. I fucking meant it.
Yeah,
but like, I didn't want to go in hard. But now, like, hearing...
Let's fucking go, like.
Yeah, I'm listening to this shit, I'm like, yeah, fuck him.
Yeah.
Fuck him hard.
So, again with the fucking press conference, it's very funny to watch it, but the backstage, the half an hour before it actually happened, was the birth of Phoenix.
Yeah, I've heard this, and I would love to hear from like a more kind of detailed version of someone that was from there, because I've heard from the likes of Marion and from the likes of Billy and other guys who were there that to explain that he pretty much just went off his fucking rocker that day. Like.
Completely. There's several different fucking people who he kind of like attacked at this point. There was one person that he attacked, and he was blaming him for the show not fucking selling. Like, it's your fucking fault the show's not selling. You specifically, you one fucking person, like one fucking trainee, for some reason, that he always fucking targeted as well. I'm not going to mention the person's name, but he always fucking targeted. And it was his fucking fault, because he didn't sell his 7 tickets. It's your fault. You're not selling tickets. Even though he sold, like, still a good few tickets to his fucking friends. Yeah. But it's your fault. This show's not drawing because of you. And he told him to fuck off. Get out. You're fucking not welcome here anymore. You're not booked. And he went to fucking walk out. And then he was like, alright, stop. You can fucking come back if you apologise. And your man was just staring at him like, what are you on?
Jesus
he was just like, apologise right now. And he just said, alright, sorry, can I sit down? And he did. But
fucking hell, that's like
he lost it at him. Hell. Like, for some reason, him specifically, he just targeted one person that he just felt was an easy target and was like, it's your fault this show's not drawing. It's your fault no one's coming out to press conference. It's your fucking fault. And like, he was like I don't use the term bullying light.
Yeah.
I would use it there. He was bullying him.
Yeah.
Like that was hard to watch, and he was like one of my fucking very, very good friends, the person who was getting bullied at the fucking time. So that was hard to fucking watch. Like, he was almost in tears by the end of it, like.
Yeah, it's almost like when things go off the rails for Lee, and it's always by his own design, that everybody else is going to get the blame for it. Like, him screaming at a ring announcer or a trainee or someone selling fucking t-shirts because he's too inept to actually have control of any situation. It always seems that everybody else is going to feel the fucking brunt of it, like. And
a few other things as well from that. When we were going to that press conference, he was talking to me, and he was saying that, like, oh, I have no fans. Raven, you have no fucking fans. Like, no one's coming to the show for you. And I was kind of like, go on Twitter, man. Look how many likes my fucking, like, not eating my own ass, like, but look on Twitter and look how many fucking likes my ass. Look how many comments people have. Do you want to see my DMs of people that are looking forward to my match?
Yeah,
show me your DMs. Like.
I don't need for you to blow the smoke up your own hole, because it really does speak for itself. like when it came to Cork wrestling, the most notable Cork wrestler is Raven Creed.
Yeah. And there's so many people at that show wearing my t-shirts, and they're like, there's my 7 tickets, and you know what, there's 10 more.
Yeah, you but it's his delusions as well that he's able to say to you, and it's another way to keep you down. It's another way to kind of assert his power, his dominance over you, to say, look, I'm doing you a favour booking you. You're not actually fucking doing me any favours. You're not drawing anything for me.
He said that to me before, yeah.
Well, they're like, that's... Oh, Jesus Christ.
He said that, like, to me, like...
Literally?
Yeah, not literally
Jesus
that. Like,
Christ.
he put me on, like, a poster before because, like... Whatever, you just put a fucking wrestler on a poster, and obviously he thought I'd fucking draw if you put me on a poster, because like you don't just do it for no fucking reason.
Yeah.
And he was like, he gave out to me before because like I only sold like 5 tickets instead of 7 tickets to a fucking show, and he was like, I don't put you on a poster for no reason. That's for you. That's to get you fucking better exposure. And he never like that. Like he was like literally saying, I put you on a poster because I'm a good person, because I'm your fucking friend and no one else will book you. Meanwhile, I was probably wrestling for OTT the next fucking day.
Yeah.
So it's not that no one else was fucking booking me. But like he was obsessed with the idea of like, I'm making you.
Yeah.
Like, to me, like, he was, like, obsessed with that fucking specific idea. Especially when I started working other places. And, as well, with anyone else who started working fucking other places.
Yeah,
like,
so when he sees that you get to see that the grass is actually greener.
Yeah.
And
learning
on
what
the other
wrestling
side,
is supposed to be.
And you get a taste of these professional bookers. You get a taste of a nice ring that won't injure you.
Yeah.
You like, he starts to feel that his grasp on you is loosening. So to dig in tighter, he needs to go harder. He needs to really put you down a couple of notches so that he can still be superior to you.
Yeah, and that was a constant fucking thing for the years that I was there. That was constant.
Right.
So, just with the press conference as well, he had said so many times leading up to that show, I'm fucking leaving wrestling. That's me, I'm fucking done. Which was kind of almost like an invitation. It was like, alright, well, if you're leaving wrestling, then something needs to fucking happen, or else no one's going to wrestle in fucking Cork.
But really,
So
like,
that was an
behind it all,
invitation.
those are threats for him to be like, well, I'm leaving wrestling, so without me, you guys are going to have nothing. But the reality is, like, you guys are all waiting, like, yeah, please do, so that we don't have to fucking make this awkward.
I have a direct quote from him.
Let's go, let's do it.
This is like, I remember this vividly. Everyone from that press conference remembers this vividly, that he said this. Ye will never run Cork without me. I dare ye. Ye'd be nothing without me.
Oh. Do you know when...
So, Phoenix are doing a show on the 21st of September, on the 20th of October, and look on the Twitter page for a couple more. And they're all better.
Yeah. Justy's gonna be there.
Yeah.
I won't
so that means it's fucking deadly, doesn't it?
I don't know. But I will tell you this, I don't steal money for Phoenix.
Yeah, exactly.
And I go down to Phoenix, I try my best to, because I honestly believe, and like, when I went down there, the fact that Lee gave me the freedom to say what I want, what a fucking idiot. I went down and I said, I was better than everybody because I'm not from here. And I said that Cork was its own ecosystem. And I was the new alpha predator, and I was coming in to shake things up. But really, like, there was a lot of truth to what I was actually saying there. Yeah. I was letting an awful lot of steam. I was coming down, and I was like, this place is fucking Bush League. And it wasn't anybody's fucking fault who was putting fucking tights on. Well, except for fucking him and his corset. But, like, he fucking, like, it was a systematic failure from the top down. Was CCW, and I could see the first moment I went in there, I said, oh, this guy is just a fucking, and I know this will kind of upset someone if I say this, but he's the epitome of the term, he's a mark with money. He is a guy who watched professional wrestling, who doesn't understand the intricacies of the fucking business, who said, I want to book this, and he played a professional wrestling booker. He was a fucking charlatan, he was a fucking liar. He, hadn't a fucking clue how to treat wrestlers, how to fucking book a wrestling card, how to fucking wrestle a goddamn match. He had fucking Team White Wolf one day looking at me in the fucking face saying, where are you staying tonight? And I said, I'm staying at my fucking house. And he said, they were like, oh, we don't know where we're staying tonight. He didn't book them a place to stay.
Oh, that has happened so many fucking times.
I was at the show, one of the last guys to leave, and he had to ring, while he was drunk, he had to ring the fucking ring van guy to come back to take some of the draws that he had promised, a lift to a fucking, either the airport or the hotel, I'm not quite sure, and the ring band guy had cleared the ring off and was gone for a pint. And he was like, I didn't know. And Lee is screaming down the phone at this guy because he didn't tell him that he was supposed to fucking drive these guys somewhere. Yeah. He never organised fucking anything for his draws. He always had the pastor come over, and the pastor liked the setup because his family's from Cork, so he'd come, he'd work that show, and then he'd go and stay with his parents in Cork. But for everybody else, he never organised lifts, hotels. I think Ligero was there at one stage, and I asked Ligero, where are you staying tonight? And he was like, I don't know. And Ligero ended up staying on the floor with somebody else in some fucking... Yeah, like, you guys don't know this stuff?
No, I actually didn't know that one.
Oh, well, like, fucking... Yeah, like, I was only there for fucking 6 months.
Yeah, I know.
And I seen some fucking shit. I've had conversations with draws where they were like, this place is the fucking worst.
Yeah.
I heard rumblings that this CCW show that was supposed to happen this year, if it's I hope to Jesus it doesn't happen, but I hope I heard that through the grapevine, fucking people rumble, but I heard there was a certain wrestler that was going to be booked on this show. Where he was going to get fucking Irish wrestlers for the show, I don't know. It'd have to be guys who aren't training, who haven't worked in fucking I don't know how long. It'd have to be those guys because...
He actually, he got onto a bunch of old CCW trainees or old Phoenix trainees who hadn't trained for like a year or whatever like that, and was like, want a booking.
Oh, so a real professional show.
And obviously then, like, the people who had a bit of fucking self-respect was like, no, I don't train in wrestling anymore, thank you very much.
Yeah, well, like, Jesus Christ, he must have fucking, like, he has no fucking brains. There was a wrestler rumbled to me in my ear saying, like, guy said he's gonna get this guy, it's gonna be a fly-in, and I was like, oh, that's very interesting, that guy's a big name, even in Ireland. But like, this guy, right, has Twitter threads where he says, let's out shitty bookers and let's promote great fucking promoters. So it's like, if you've got a shitty booker who has done you wrong, like, out them in this thread here. Like, imagine this guy goes to work directly for the worst fucking booker I've ever seen deal with fucking fly-ins. Imagine he didn't get a hotel, or he didn't get a lift. Jesus. Like, think about your fucking... If you've got bad form on setting up fly-ins, why you get the one fly-in whose fucking goal in life is to make things better for professional wrestling and to out fucking shitty promoters? You stupid fuck. You dumb piece of shit. What the fuck? I digress. Fuck him.
I love that rant, James. Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And just to finish off the bit on the fucking the press conference, the entire point of that press conference, if anyone watched it, it's like a fucking hour long. I don't recommend it.
I watched 40 seconds of it. That's how far I got in.
It's fucking hard. I haven't even watched it fucking back. Oh. It's hard. Like,
it's so hard.
The entire point of that press conference was to get him over. The entire point of that, because he did a fucking speech at the start and was like, well, Lycan has challenged me to a death match, like talking as if people knew or gave a shit.
Yeah.
Not dissing on Lycan, he's a very nice lad.
I like Lycan too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Shout out to Lycan, I like you.
Love you, Dad.
Lycan you a lot.
But like, the entire point of that was he was saying Lycan challenged him to a death match. You want my answer? I'll give it to you at the end of the press conference. Like, I'm doing my as dramatic as possible head tilt there.
That was a real good visual.
Thank you.
Like, you should try that in some promos someday. It was really good.
Oh, fuck me. But so then anyway, I got to the end of the press conference where I had done a very good promo. The Armstrongs did something very, very funny, and we're taking the piss the entire time. So like, if you actually do watch the press conference, watch the Armstrongs the entire time. It's fucking hilarious.
Right.
Fun fact: Marion Armstrong was the promo teacher, basically promo trainer.
Yeah.
Because he was an actor.
He's an actor, yeah.
And whenever everyone went up, did their promo and went to sit down, you could see everyone turn to Marion and just go, "Was that okay? Was that alright?" Which is fucking really funny. I even did it actually. But yeah, so you got to the end of the press conference, and Lee asked people to take questions or whatever like that, and he had one trainee who goes by Flint now. What's the crack, Flint?
Oh, Flint. Yeah, Rob Harris looking fuck.
But he had him pretend to be an interviewer or something like that.
Yeah.
From, I don't know, what name was it?
They wanted it to be a name of someone that was invited who said no, to be from a website that are a fairly reputable wrestling website that also said no because they didn't want to be there, so he was going to job them out, in his own words.
So let's just pick a name. Let's say it was someone from PW Torch. Let's put that. So he used a kind of a parody name on one of their journalists.
Yeah, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
And he just a little extra fucking dig that wasn't needed. But regardless, so you got your man to ask a very, very kayfabe fucking question, horribly. If you go to a press conference, it's usually so what's the training like for this match, or so this is a death match, how much blood or whatever, whatever. You ask questions that people would actually fucking ask. He was are you planning on using these cowardly tactics to win your next match? And it was alright, way to say the most wrestling thing in the world, but he was told
Mr.
fucking say
Cahalan, your wrestling career has the momentum of a runaway freight train. What makes you so popular?
Yeah, shit like that. And anyway, so Lee went up to him and was say that again to me. It was trying to be a fucking tough guy, when if you've ever seen him, he doesn't look like a tough guy, but fucking regardless. So he did that, and he hit him with the weakest fucking slap I've ever seen, and Flint went down like a sack of shit, he just got shot in the fucking neck.
Right, yeah.
He went down, and Lee had he had the security, our fucking two trainees who happened to be large, pull him out while he was screaming it's gonna be a death match, it's gonna be appropriate. We considered calling a show It's Gonna Be Appropriate before, because we think that's the funniest thing we've ever fucking heard, because imagine saying I'm gonna fucking kill you, it's gonna be appropriate to someone that you actually hate. So the entire point of that press conference was literally so he could look like a tough guy and get over. And because of that, I couldn't do a promo to set up my match to sell more tickets. We looked like a fucking laughing stock. And that's what I mean when I say that we were laughing stock. Not just because whatever, we only use trainees, whatever. It was literally we were a fucking laughing stock. This is still a fucking meme in Irish wrestling. Angel Cruz put out the funniest fucking tweet I've ever seen to do with that press conference. And it's funny. It is a laughing stock. CCW is still the laughing stock of fucking Irish wrestling. Because of that.
But it's
because
got
of bullshit
to be,
like that.
For you, it's got to be disheartening that
it's
people
so
are going
difficult.
They'll always associate you with this kind of, and again, I don't think anyone's going to hold you or any of the other wrestlers accountable for how shit CCW really was, or these ideas like the press conference, or abortion angles, or
that
whatever.
was the thing before that he tried to get me to do. That's that's in the miscellaneous section.
Yeah, that's when I hear that kind of stuff, I'm does this guy know what's going on?
Yeah.
If you can be so naive to what's going on in the actual real world that you'd be do you know what we should do? An abortion angle in the fucking in the teens. You know what I mean? It's we're well into the 21st century here. We should probably not make light of the fact that was that press conference on the day of the abortion arrest. That's what
So
you guys said that to me.
He wanted to get fucking journalists. He genuinely thought that this was going to be a New Japan fucking press conference. He wanted to get journalists to come down to the fucking CCW press conference.
Obviously
day
just wrestling,
of the referendum.
Was it just wrestling journalists, or did he think
No, he thought he invited fucking radio journalists, he invited fucking newspaper people, he thought that this was gonna be the shit.
What?
And again, 6 people including fucking 3 trainees, and it was the day of the fucking abortion referendum. The day all journalists are busy. At the time of fucking voting. So even if you weren't a journalist, you were going to be out fucking voting.
Yeah,
so no one's going to go.
Even the tumbleweeds were busy that day.
Literally.
That's fucking hell. Another great decision by our glorious leader.
So everything about that was wrong. Literally everything. I think I did a good fucking promo in that. I'm fucking proud of that promo. But it just should have been done 2 weeks beforehand and then released by itself, because no one fucking saw the promo, because it was in the middle of an hour and a half long press conference.
Yeah, fucking hell. I'm sure you've heard this from your therapist a number of times, but it wasn't your fault, Raven. None of this is your fault.
Thank you. I need to hear that.
This is something that has affected you. It wasn't affected by you, okay? You are not to blame in this scenario. You're a victim.
Do you want me to start crying?
There's a lot of fucking serious, like, I know we can look back at the likes of that press conference now and we can laugh, but for you it's not as fucking hilarious as it is for people who have to look in. For me, like, I was being associated with CCW and people start, like, I get a fucking I'm like, we're all in some fucking WhatsApp groups, or, you know, we've got Facebook Messenger groups, and like, my phone got fucking lit up. Have you seen this CCW press conference? And I'm like, oh dude, I have to fucking go down there and do it. But for me, it was fine because I was down there kind of playing an outsider, like, more or less being an outsider. I will give, I'll say one thing for my run in CCW is that I met a lot of friends down there that I still have now, guys that I probably wouldn't have if I never went to CCW, guys I probably wouldn't have a closer relationship with. I remember, like, the first time I met Billy. Well, the first time I would have spoken to Billy was when I seen him hurt backstage. I think he tore his groin, and so he was really hurt. And I noticed he sat down, and I could see he was physically in pain, couldn't fucking do anything for himself. He couldn't take his fucking boots off, and I was like, oh shit, this dude needs his boots taken off, and there's no one out here looking after him. So I gave him a hand to fucking take his gear off, which, you know, was, as, like, it meant something to me anyways. I don't know if it meant anything to him, but I know that
he still talks about it fondly.
Well, that day I got to disrobe Billy Bedlam. It's, you know, there's not one day goes by without me thinking about that day. But I remember I never would have had that opportunity to make those friends if I wasn't in CCW. So I will give it that. Like, that's, and you know what, I went down there and I fucking made money. I overcharged the shit out of that stupid idiot. So, like, with CCW, I will not say that it was all bad for me, but any experience I have with Lee or the promoter on that side of things, definitely I fucking cannot abide those memories in my fucking head. With, now that we've got Phoenix, I remember we sat down before they were going to have shows. They sat down to talk to me about plans they had for Phoenix, plans they had for me, things that they wanted to do. I was like, holy shit,
so fucking different.
Oh, these guys have got their shit together. You're not just arriving down and being told, right, you've got 2 matches and a promo after fucking half an hour of fucking, or almost an hour of an intermission. Like, it was it was like, right, we want to. And for them, like, for Lee, I didn't want to do a goddamn thing. Your shitty ring is fucking hurting me. I'm not going to bump for you. You're doing absolutely nothing to put me or you or your guys over. You're just down here playing fucking booker.
Yeah. When
I got down to Phoenix, those guys had a fucking game plan, and I said, yeah, I want to fucking get down there and put my heart into this as much as you guys want to do it. So, as, like, the difference behind it, when someone puts faith in you, in their own product, they have ideas that aren't completely fucking mental, and they just want to better the scene and not put themselves over. You get a totally different fucking attitude from everybody else involved, and I think that's what you have now in Phoenix, is this really fucking positive place that is really, like, your promoters in Phoenix are bringing fucking trainers down every week, every month. They've got seminars. They've got Be Cool down there fucking teaching people how to train or how to wrestle. Fucking, now that you have, let's not just say broke the shackles of CCW, but, like, you have basically, in the year since CCW has gone, when you were supposed to quit fucking wrestling, it has been your most successful year without a doubt. You were OTT champion. You've broke over into Britain, where you're actually doing fucking wonderful things over there. You've got invited to fucking WWE for a tryout. You've been fucking wrestling in the Performance Center at NXT UK. It's fucking, you've had a wild ride, and to think that CCW could have fucking ruined that.
Yeah.
But Phoenix is something that was a breath of fresh air down in your fucking scene, the scene that you hold dear to your heart.
Yeah.
So now that you've got the likes of Lee coming back in, and for whatever fucking reason, ego obviously, just reaching his, like, sticking his neck back in and trying to fuck things up for everybody, trying to create a war. Like, CCW, it had its time, and its time is fucking over. Now, Phoenix aren't afraid of CCW coming along and fucking creating a war.
No, there's not a war. We don't care.
You invited fucking OTT down to the Neptune Stadium with open arms. Yeah, the guys from Phoenix gave their trainees, told their trainees to go help out. This is this is a big fucking show. You guys can learn from being at that show. And I remember I was one of the last guys in that building as well, taking down the ring and the rig and stuff, and the fucking energy, the crack, the fucking just the enthusiasm that the Cork guys had for professional wrestling, I hadn't seen in CCW. I just saw sullen faces walking around like, why is he shouting at me? Why can't he fucking do it? But Joe Cabrera came at the end of that OTT show, and he was so fucking thankful to not only the fucking promoters of Phoenix for offering their guys, but for their guys actually just to fucking show up. And it was just so nice to see two promotions actually working with each other. No one was trying to run anyone out of town. No one felt threatened. Everybody felt like it was fucking doing better. And then you've got, within a fucking week of that happening, fucking Lee Callahan fucking poking his head
day. It was the next day.
One day?
One day.
Well, then there you go. You see, now that I see how things could be in fucking Cork, I want a piece of the action again. Well, if you were any good in the first fucking place, you would be having those fucking Neptune Stadium shows.
Yeah. Like, the thing was, well, because of CCW, we did have to dig the reputation from, it wasn't just at ground level, it was fucking below it.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point.
And we, like, in the 16 months, I think it's been about 16 months since CCW has been gone, and Phoenix has been around, everyone stopped saying, oh yeah, you're good for a Cork wrestler, or that's good for a Cork show. People
Great
just
point.
say, that was a good show. And even when OTT came to Cork, they weren't like, oh, thank God, a good promotion is finally coming to Cork. They're like, oh, class.
Yeah.
And that was it. It's a good show. Class.
Yeah, it wasn't like fucking, oh God, like something we've been missing. It was like, oh, we get to see, and I think the biggest buzz there was, we get to see Raven in a match. Because she's our fucking Corkonian fucking princess. We want to see her in this big match on this big stage. And there was no, from your promoters, it's crazy to think, if that would have happened and Lee still had CCW and Lee was in charge,
no trainee would have been allowed to, let alone like fucking help on that show. No trainee would have ever been allowed to fucking buy a ticket and go to that show.
You wouldn't, you would have been blacklisted by Lee for wanting to work that OTT show in Cork.
Yeah.
Without a fucking doubt in my mind.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. Because he's competition and he's fucking trying to ruin us and blah blah blah. Whereas Phoenix is like, yeah, let's go and help them out.
Supportive.
So supportive.
For you, they're like, just looking at how they were putting you over online, it was like, our girl wrestling for the biggest company in our home fucking county, in our home city, let's get fucking behind her. And they were like, let's sell tickets for OTT. Yeah. We're Phoenix, let's sell tickets for OTT. Because
it doesn't damage the scene for having a good show. Like, I was talking to a lot of people at the OTT show that were like, oh, this is my first show I've ever been to. Like,
and now what are we going to do?
They're like, oh, well, that was enjoyable. Let's go. Is there any other shows in Cork? Okay, let's go to that. So it doesn't damage the scene. So again, Lee had a complete, like, brainwash thing of, like, a good show happening would damage the scene. A good show happening helps the fucking scene.
Yeah.
And equally, a bad show happening or bad promotion happening damages the scene.
And that's CCW.
Yes.
Fucking, yeah.
It all links back around, fuck.
Yeah, one complete circle.
Exactly. So the last thing I'm going to talk about on the podcast, we've had the fucking funny shit. I'm going to go back to the kind of, not the person shit, but getting a bit fucking real.
Right.
And so this isn't just like a funny story, this isn't whatever. This is a reason why you shouldn't support this kind of person.
Okay.
So again, this was actually really close to that Switzerland thing that I was talking about earlier on. This was in the January. The Switzerland thing was in the November. So this was a couple of months later. We did a show in Athlone. It was like a charity show.
Right.
At this time, by the way, I was going out with Matt Schuyler. That sounds fucking stupid to say his fucking name like that. But I was going out with him. And we were going out for like a month or something like that. But we were, whatever. And after the show, we all went out to get some drinks and stuff like that, you know.
As you do. Yeah.
As you do. And I got very drunk, but I also got spiked that night. I'm not going to say it was him, because I don't think it was him. I'm straight away, I'm not fucking saying that.
Right.
But I did get spiked, I know that for a fucking fact. So I was completely out of it. I was like, I remember, I know for a fact I was spiked because I had the really typical things of blacking out and waking up in different kind of parts and a few other things that I don't want to get into. But so there was one part where myself, Matt Schuyler, Lee and someone else, John Render or something, we were all at a nightclub. I don't know how this happened. Again, I was just probably being lured around by the fucking hand. I don't remember any of this for the most part. But I was told about this, so this isn't me making up anything. This isn't me making up anything. This is, I was told about this and I do remember this. So we were in that club with my boyfriend's fucking arm around me. He probably had a few drinks as well, but like, with my boyfriend's fucking arm around me, and Lee next to me, fucking, when I say he kisses me, I don't mean he kisses me on the cheek or pecks me or anything like that. I mean he really gets into it. And again, this is with my boyfriend's fucking arm around me. Basically fucking passed out, and I can't really move. So I can't pull away, I can't do anything like that. And again, that's just, that's not just like a small little thing, or like
that's
a fucking booker hugging me after a match or anything like that. That's even worse than the Switzerland thing, because like I couldn't pull away. I do remember how bad I was. That's all I remember. And it wasn't just drinking. I'm not that fucking irresponsible. It was. I know it was White, and again, it wasn't him.
Even if it wasn't, even if you were just drunk, that's interaction shouldn't have fucking happened.
Exactly, and like it wasn't just like a kiss. It was kind of a lot more than that. I don't want to give any fucking details.
Yeah, you don't have to.
You know,
just take your time.
So like, then there was no apology, no none. Obviously, and it was never fucking referenced ever again. But like literally, it wasn't that like my boyfriend's arm was around me at that fucking time. And another little bit about that, just to involve Matt Schuyler a tiny bit more in that, was afterwards, after that happened, I was probably off in a bathroom throwing up or something. Matt Schuyler went up to him and was like, "You ever fucking talk to my girlfriend again? Or you ever," I can't remember exactly what he said, but it was, "You ever interact with her again? Or you ever do anything like that again, I'm gonna break your fucking nose." And that's the words that he said. And Lee was just looking at him, was like, "What are you fucking on about?" Like, and he was like, "No, I will break your fucking nose," as you fucking would, like defending someone. And then because of that, Matt Schuyler didn't get booked for like 6 or 7 months on CCW shows. He just, like, Lee wouldn't touch him or go near him or anything like
Jesus
that. And
Christ.
was completely cold to him and hated him then for the 6 or 7 months. And eventually did book him in like a summer tour again in front of like 30 people or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's, again, like I was talking about, the fucking abuse of power and being a scummy person, and
That's
again, it's like what I'm said at the fucking start of it. I don't think that you should not support CCW because he's a bit of an arsehole. I don't think that you should not work for CCW because it's a bit unprofessional. I think that you should know what you're fucking supporting. You're supporting, like, I don't hate people because I can't really be arsed to. I hate him. He's a really bad person, and I think that there's good in fucking people, but he's just a bad person. And like with all the things that I said, and like again, I've scratched the surface. I didn't go into everything fucking here.
Yeah.
Again, I only told my fucking stories.
And you got to think about, there's an entire roster of people with stories. There's probably a few people from the fucking audience with stories. You've got backstage people, fly-ins that have all got fucking interactions with this guy who they're just not positive.
Yeah.
And to be honest, like, for you to have come along and said what you've said here, fucking, first of all, fucking, that's a brave thing to have to say, because like it's a shitty thing to have happen to you. It's a shitty thing to have to go through. It's a shitty thing to have to repeat so that people don't trust this fucking dick.
That's what I'm saying. That like I don't want any other women fucking working for him. Like women, men, I don't want anyone working for him. But specifically, I don't want women working for him because I know that he's a fucking horrible person to women. Like with all the like, I know that there was some funny things and like we can laugh at the sexist things now. Because it's kind of like someone actually says that in 2018, but like, you know, it did happen. Someone did say this. This isn't a fucking cartoon. This isn't a fucking TV show or a fucking sketch. This is someone who actually fucking said this. This is real, and this is someone that if you work for, you're saying that this behavior is okay in my fucking opinion, and if you support their shows after knowing, then you're saying again, this is good to fucking support. That's just my fucking opinion.
again, you're not waiting for some fucking promoter to come and try and challenge the Cork scene, and for you to be like, right, let's take this person down.
No, because the thing is that I don't actually think that I don't think he's a match for fucking Phoenix, because I don't think a lot of good wrestlers will work for him.
He'll never do it.
Yeah, exactly, he won't. But even if he fucking does, I want people to fucking know, if anyone ever gets a message from CCW being like, do you want a booking? And they happen to Google it and find fucking this podcast or find people talking about it, then that's what I fucking want. And to people to be like, Jesus, I don't want to fucking support that.
Yeah.
Or for anyone to be like, well, why does everyone hate CCW? I want them to link people to this podcast and then tell them fucking why.
Yeah.
I want people to fucking know that it's not just like, oh, that's really funny, CCW is a bit shit. That is a lot more than that. And again, I've touched the fucking surface here.
Yeah, like this, it's not like you're kind of, right, fucking don't trust this guy because he might fuck you over a little bit. Like, you have literal interactions with him that are real fucking scumbaggy. And so I don't know, like, for me, I didn't want to have to be fucking the one to be like, right, let's shoot on Lee. Like, when I heard that he shot on me for whatever reason on his podcast, that, like, Lee, congratulations, that's the most fucking listens you're ever going to get mentioning my name, guy. It's like, you know, fucking, yeah, I'm the draw, okay? This fucking unprofessional comedy jobber just drew ears to your podcast. Well done. Well, this is probably going to be one of the most listened to. If word gets out about this, this is probably going to be one of the most listened to Spandex pantomimes, and we've got a good listenership. So hopefully, you know, wrestlers will listen and not want to work for him.
It's not worth it, because you're not going to gain anything besides bad publicity, to be honest with you.
Fans, please fucking boycott anything that you see CCW. You know what, I was just going to leave it at a fucking tweet, but
and a year ago I was going to not say anything and let it fucking go away, but
listening to the stories you have, and do you know what, that fucking last one is actually fucking heartbreaking for me, and like, it was hard for me to fucking have to sit and listen to that, so I can only imagine how hard it was for you to have to fucking say it. And again, look guys, this isn't fucking us just shooting shit into the wind here and fucking trying to drag someone because they dragged us. That's a real fucking, like, that's a proper warning to people that this is not a good, like, he's not a good dude. Like, that's fucked up, right? I just want to go fucking and say that please do not support fucking Lee Callahan. Please do not support fucking CCW. There is much better. If you are so big a CCW fan that you do not want to go to Phoenix, fine, sit at home. Just don't fucking support this guy. Do not give fucking money to something that not only is it bad for wrestling, but it's bad for people that is going to have to be fucking involved with him. If he gets another fucking bunch of young, impressionable trainees and he starts churning out fucking the same bullshit as he has before, we are doing a disservice to the wrestling scene letting that happen. So please, avoid with all fucking every fibre in your body, avoid this fucker. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, couldn't put it better myself on.
Is there any last words you want to put in on this?
No, I think I just pretty much said everything, but if you want to support a good company in Cork, follow Phoenix. They're very good, they're very supportive, they're very positive. Again, that's what we tried to do when we first started Phoenix. Again, like you said earlier, it came from the top down.
Yeah.
Positivity from the top down instead of negativity, and it seems to be doing us pretty well. Yeah,
some good dudes doing some good stuff down in Cork. Have you got anything to plug? T-shirts or feet pics?
Yeah, I'll be selling my feet pics at ravencreed.gmail. Whatever the fuck.
Outlook.html.com. You any big dates coming up?
Yeah, probably a few. There's a big Phoenix show happening on the 21st of September.
Yep.
It's called the Late Late Show. We're doing it in our gym. We're welcoming everyone in.
Ironically,
our home.
The earliest fucking show that fucking Phoenix would have ever done. The Late Late Show, 6 p.m. Yeah, okay guys. Yeah, alright. Yeah, and the 20th of October is Phoenix as well. Guys, obviously, like, OTT, go to all their shows.
Obviously, yeah.
There's plenty of stuff going up north. Hopefully they're not fucking slitting each other's throats still. So like, go to it or don't. I don't know. Like, this fucking, I don't work up there. Fuck them. All right, like, support your local wrestlers, but don't just pick a team unless it's CCW. Don't pick that team. So yeah. I suppose that's kind of it.
Yeah.
That was heavy stuff. Can next time you come on, can we talk about some fucking, you know...
Well, I said some funny shit, and then
I
ended it on a fucking depressing note.
Yeah. Well, like, no, it's fine, because you know what? It's if we started off with that one, and then we try to lighten everything up after that, it's like, let's let people go home with the thought that, you know what, he was a fucking scumbag, so yeah, fuck him. Shit, you should have shot me, Lee. So I suppose, that being said, next time I get you on, we'll talk about like hair dye, you know, fucking your favourite creepy places in the woods or whatever.
I love woods, man.
Yeah,
cows.
that's you like.
I love cows.
Do you know what? We drove through Kildare earlier on, where I'm from, by the way, the king of the Middle East. And you saw some sheep, and it's funny because it was a treat for us, or a treat for me as well, because I don't normally see sheep galloping, and we saw a herd of sheep just galloping like they were
class,
like elk. So yeah, so not only are cows class, sheep are class as well, and also very tasty. This episode was brought to you by veganism. Okay, everybody.
That
so
get us booked in Brit Rest?
Probably not. You know what? There's nothing get Rocky Mac still won't let me get booked in Brit Rest. I think you're our only hope in this car right now to get a Brit Rest booking. Right, guys. From Raven, thank you so much for this podcast.
Thanks for giving me a platform.
Yeah. You know what? Fucking, it was a risky one, but like, fuck it. Like, it needed to be done. So everybody, I hope you take something from this podcast, and that you let's just say support decent wrestling and decent people. Don't give those who don't deserve it your support. Thanks for listening, but most of all, thanks for being a fan.